Today on Locked On Red Wings, Charlie Lindgren stuns Detroit and the Capitals usurp the Wings for a wildcard spot.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. I'm a podcast producer for the Daily J, a WWJ News Radio podcast, while Scotty's host over at Locked On Tigers, as well as a freelance journalist for the Detroit News. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKDOWNNHL for $20 off your first purchase. I don't even know where to begin, dude. I'm
dead inside.
Right.
I'm dead inside.
I'm not dead inside, man. I'm pissed.
I am.
I am legitimately pissed off. But I'm not pissed off at the way the team played. The Red Wings dominated the Washington Capitals for 60 straight minutes. Well, 56 minutes. There was 4 minutes at the end of the second, which ended up determining the game. But the Red Wings were the better team, and we got goal lead hard by Charlie Lindgren in the best game he's ever going to play in his entire life, in a win that you had to have. And if I'm Dan Holme of Lockdown Capitals, man, I'm throwing a parade already, because what Lindgren did in this game was incredible. And I mean, hell, I guess I don't want to steal your difference maker, because I know that's what you're talking about, but I mean, he clearly is one of the difference makers, right?
I don't even know if we need two.
Well, I have a backup.
Yeah, I know, because you're good at your job. So like, you're gonna bring in another person to talk about, but just he is the difference maker. That is 100% of the difference made was in that for the Caps in this hockey game. I agree with everything you said. I thought the Wings skated circles around them, honestly, for a solid 55 minutes, 58 minutes. They completely crumbled in the last 2 to 3, 4 minutes of the second period there. Completely crumbled. It's a mistake. It's not good. They gave up another goal right before the end of a period, which they've been obsessed with doing this entire year. It's very frustrating, but at the end of the day, even like, why you don't make those mistakes, and then I guess you maybe 0-0 it into overtime, you get a point still, but like at the end of the day, you can't win if you can't score, and that is the difference maker. You had volume, you had high danger, they checked a lot of boxes in terms of what we talk about on a consistent basis for
they did everything.
For what this team, what we want to see out of this offense, for them to score goals. They did a lot, but they couldn't bury the puck, and that falls on players, obviously, and credit where credit is due, man. It's like a heck of a hockey game between the pipes there, and as far as I'm concerned, that is the sole difference maker in this hockey game.
And it's just like, I have so many thoughts that I want to get to, and I have to try and order them so we can get to them one at a time, so I don't just shotgun them out and then we have a mess of an episode. On Charlie Lindgren, he is the sole reason why they are in the position they are to begin with. We talked about it on yesterday's episode. I guess it's a duo. He and Ovechkin coming alive are the two reasons why they are even got to this point.
Yeah, this Lindgren team hasn't played well. They have just gotten unbelievable. And again, like you said, we talked about it. They've got an unbelievable goalie play, and they've got the greatest score of all time heating up.
But they haven't got an unbelievable goalie play the last 5 starts out of Lindgren. In Lindgren's last 5 starts, he had an .875 save percentage coming into this game. The Capitals were on a 6-game losing streak. Their last win coming against Detroit.
Of course.
So, of course, a team with a -41 goal differential on a 6-game losing streak with a goalie who's slumping comes in and all but shuts you out. You scored at 1.1 second left. Oh boy. But like, and as
far as I'm concerned, this was a shutout.
Right. And I'm pissed because this game, I mean, your season's not over. Like, you're still only 1 point out. Technically, you're 2 teams back now, because now that games played are even, Pittsburgh surpasses you on tiebreaker. But like, you're still only 1 point out with 4 games left and another big game on Thursday. You joked, right? Like, of course, they'll split. But winning this game is it wouldn't have clinched you a playoff spot, but damn, would it have helped. And just to lose this game, despite how well you played in all areas of the ice, except for the power play, which you only got 2 opportunities on in the third period. But at 5-on-5, they did everything that we asked them to do all season long. They were getting to the middle of the ice. They were intercepting passes. They were winning board battles, winning races to the puck. They were entering the zone with the puck, Scotty. They were clean zone entries. They were like the one, and they just got goalied. Charlie Lindgren turned Godwin. He turned into Dominic Hasek. But I will say he was stopping a lot of the initial shots, and this is where my backup difference maker is. He gave up a lot of juicy rebounds, and as much as I was just praising the Red Wings for doing everything, this is a team that's very used to scoring on shots, like initial shots. This is not a team that's used to having to go for rebounds. Charlie Lindgren gave up, especially in the first period, where you had like 16 shots on net to their like 5 or 7, whatever it was. He gave up so many rebounds up the ice into the middle, where the Red Wings just were never sending anybody. And that's my other difference maker is rebounds.
Sure.
You had a plethora of rebounds. You were getting to the middle of the ice for the initial shot. You were getting open for the initial shot. But when they didn't beat Charlie Lindgren, there was nobody there to bank home the rebound. And so while, yes, this is 99% Lindgren just always stopping the initial shot, but you have got to get somebody to the net to score goals. I was messaging Jen, who is a faithful listener and just a hockey freak like us. And I mean, that is a compliment. I told her, like, after the Wings didn't get a goal in the first period, I was like, it's first goal. Like, I just had this gut feeling that whoever scores the first goal is going to win. And I had that gut feeling that the Red Wings were getting so stonewalled that it was going to go to the Capitals. And of course, 5 minutes left in the second period, one of the 2 players that scores goals for the Washington Capitals and Dylan Strome converts on a terrible turnover, right? Like Comfort goes to clear the rebound and clears it right up the middle, and they keep it in. And that's the thing too, is like, we didn't get bailed out of, we made 2 mistakes in this hockey game. It was a bad turnover up the middle, and then a mishandle. It was a bad pass that Sider couldn't handle for a turnover to Ovechkin, and we got punished for both of them. But we couldn't catch a break all game long. And so, like, I'm mad, and you can probably hear it in my voice, Scotty, but like, I'm not mad at the way the team played. The Red Wings dominated this game from start to finish at 5-on-5. The Corsi 4 percentage, they had a 55% share, a 53% share, and a 53% share for a total of 54% share all game long. They had the edge in shot attempts every single period. The Fenwick, 65% unblocked shot attempt share.
They outshot him by 20.
It's just like, what is it? And
the guy put up a 42 piece shotty. Like, what, man?
I'm mad, but I'm not mad at the team. I'm mad because there's no more excuses. Like, I understand, like I said yesterday, there is no more excuses, right? Yeah. There is no more excuses. Just win, and they didn't win, and that is unacceptable. But, like, I'm trying to write down notable performances, and I don't have a bad thing to say about almost any of these players. They all showed up to play, and they didn't get rewarded, and that's the most frustrating part. Because, and I said this yesterday, and I said it the day before, when they were losing, and they lost 7 games straight, they looked like they forgot how to play hockey. You know, the flu was going around. Larkin was out. They looked lost. Now they're playing good hockey again, and they're still not getting rewarded. This was the best team game I may have seen from this hockey team all year long, and they didn't get rewarded. And I feel for this team. I feel for the guys in that locker room, and I feel for Red Wings fans. I feel for myself because, and with 4 games left, it's still possible, but you put yourself at such a disadvantage by no longer controlling your destiny. Just like everyone else, I want to see playoff hockey. It just, we got 20 minutes of content left. I mean, I feel like I just emptied the tank here in segment 1.
I mean, you know we do, but yeah, I'm sorry,
by the way. I know I rambled.
No, man. Get it off your chest, big fella. I'm not upset at how they played. Certainly, it's not I'm not angry at how they looked. Again, I thought they were the better team for pretty much this entire game. But at the end of the day, if you can't put the puck in the back of the net,
Gonna have a hard time winning.
then you're gonna have you're not gonna be able to win too many hockey games. So it just sucks. Just again, I'm dead inside.
You and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum right now. Your apathy,
We're on
I'm
different
anger.
stages of grief. Yeah.
And like again, we gotta get to a break, but this is a different type of anger out of me. This isn't anger at the team not showing up. This is anger at the team showing up and then not getting a deserved win. And in a game where
In the biggest game of the season,
the biggest game of the last 5 seasons, 6 seasons. When was the last time they had a game of this magnitude? Like literally maybe the final game at Joe Louis Arena because you wanted to end that on a high note. So 2017. 2016, if you want to talk about the last time they made the playoffs. It's just we gotta head to a quick break. When we return, I don't know. Power play. We can talk about the power play. We can talk about the referee. So we want people like to talk about that. No longer control your destiny. Well, there's a lot we could talk about. I just don't know if I want to, but we will. Stay tuned to segment 2 of Locked On Red Wings. When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish you could handpick the best stars for your business? Well, if you're building your talent roster, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like matching, assessments, and virtual interviews. Hate waiting? Indeed's U.S. data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. So visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring right now. Again, that is Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Indeed you do.
I wasn't sure we were going to get it today. Wasn't sure we earned it. Segment 2, Locked On Red Wings podcast. Almost said Locked On Red Wings power play because that's where we're heading next. And I guess this kind of goes hand in hand with the officiating. The officiating wasn't great, and that's the nice way of putting it. In the first period, there were some very obvious calls that they just put their whistles in the pocket. Okay, they're letting the boys play. They're letting the boys play. But then in the third period, they missed an obvious too many men. And then they missed the most egregious high-sticking.
Egregious high stick I have, that wasn't called, I've maybe ever seen in my entire life.
It couldn't have been more obvious he had gotten high sticked. He got hit in the side of the helmet with a stick, regardless, and that's a penalty. And they didn't call it. So that sucks. But I'm not going to come on here and blame the officiating and say we got reffed. Because you didn't score 5 on 5.
Shut out. You went over on your power plays. You couldn't. You didn't technically get shut out. I don't want to.
For all intents and purposes,
goal didn't matter to me. I as far as I'm concerned, that goal didn't even happen. But you know what I mean. You couldn't find the back of the net, man. That's like the overlying theme with all of the conversations here. Is even again, as you were saying earlier, like the notable performers in this game, it's positive, and there's like a lot of guys that looked really solid. But at the end of the day, the name of the game is the puck finding the back of the net, and you couldn't do that. Obviously, it would have been beneficial to have more power play opportunities. Fair enough, but at the end of the day, man, you didn't take advantage of the ones you had, and you. You scored your first goal with
1.1 seconds.
Yeah, 1.1 seconds left.
And that's my point, right? Like we can complain and we can moan all we want about the officiating in this game, and it wasn't great. But it was a relatively clean game, and you dominated, and you couldn't score. You got 2 power plays in the third period, and you couldn't convert. This isn't the officiating's fault. You had your opportunities, and you didn't succeed. So I just wanted to address it really quick because I don't blame the refs. The other thing too I loved about this game,
they were missed calls though.
They were missed calls.
Yeah,
they needed to be called, but you got to make up. Like the hooking call they made, that wasn't a hook. That was clearly to be like, sorry, you missed that, and you didn't convert. That's on you. But The other thing too, like talking about complete efforts, what's one of the biggest things we harped on all season long with this hockey team? It's the defense from the forwards, right? A lot of the times the back check is lackluster, or their coverage in the defensive zone isn't great, or they miscommunicate and they get out of position. That wasn't the case in this hockey game. I've never seen a more complete defensive performance from everyone across the board than in this hockey game. I mean, did you see the Alex DeBrincat back check in the first period?
Yeah, man.
Like obviously we have our gripes with the fact that he's not producing, and we've talked about how he's doing everything possible. He's doing everything right but scoring, which at a certain point you still have to say like a scorer's got to score.
Yeah.
But look
at a game like tonight. It would have been nice to have a 40-goal scorer on the team. Sure.
This team in the defensive zone, the forwards were fully committed. And this is what this team can look like when they buy into Derek Lalonde's system, when they give it 100% every single night at playing both ends of the ice. Everyone looked great defensively. Like, I'm trying to remember a time off my head where, besides the Comfort just cough up the middle when he panicked on the rebound and just dumped it. And like Shane Gostisbehere had a couple turnovers in the defensive zone, one really bad one in the third period that almost cost us a goal against.
Really
but
bad.
Like, it just, this team has not played a game that complete in the system that Lalonde. Imagine being Lalonde in this situation too. And we have our criticisms of Lalonde at this, but you finally got the players to buy in, and they didn't get rewarded. I know I'm beating the dead horse with the not being rewarded, but I'm mad because it's a missed opportunity, but I'm not mad at the way they played. They were so good, and they did what they had to do, and they did the job right from start to finish for the first time all season. And you lose 2-1, really 2-0.
Yeah, man. You got 42, 43 shots on net. You only allowed 23. You played, as you said, I agree with you, one of the best team defensive games you've played all year. Like you had, again, and we talked about earlier, I guess this is a regurgitated conversation, but on top of everything you just said, with how well they played defensively, you also had like Lyon who played well. Like you got solid goalie play, right? You got really good team defense. You got over 40 shots on net, and it wasn't just high quantity. You also got quality opportunities. You got plenty of high danger. You got pucks deep. You got a lot of opportunities right in front of the net, in the slot, etc. You did all of those things. You checked every single box we have been begging this team to check in one complete game all year. And not only do you lose, you couldn't score a goal. Sans the goal off of his back with 1 second left. That doesn't mean anything.
So, Scotty, I have an update for you coming to the Lockdown Red Wings studio live as we're recording.
Wow. Awesome.
Daniela Bruce reporting that Andrew Copp broke his cheekbone on the high stick.
Oh, awesome. So that was good. It's a good thing that wasn't a high stick.
And again, say what you will about Andrew Copp, but who do you fill him with who do you replace him with in the lineup? I mean, I'd love Marco Kasper, but it's not. That's a big loss. That is a big loss. Say what you will about Andrew Copp.
Rapids.
This team can't catch a break, and I feel awful for Andrew Copp, man. That's a huge blow and a huge missed call by the refs. Like, how do you not? Whatever. Again, the refs didn't determine this game. They didn't. But that's egregious. You can't miss that.
Agreed.
And that's a big loss for the Red Wings. I mean, defensively, Copp is still very good, even though he has been absolutely invisible offensively. So losing him on the PK and in the defensive zone is going to hurt.
Yeah, well, especially it's also the
big bloody depth.
This season, when that third line has been at its best, it's been when he's been on it. So,
yeah. Anyways, we got to head to another break. When we return, I guess we'll talk about Patrick Kane reaching 20 goals. That's a little milestone. It's kind of neat, I guess. And then we'll just talk about the implications of this hockey game. So stay tuned to segment 3 of Lockdown Red Wings. Got to talk to you guys today about Game Time, the only ticketing app that gives you a complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from the seats on your phone before you buy, and with all-in pricing, they show you the total up front, and you buy tickets in 2 seconds with 2 taps. So many ways to save money on tickets, no matter when you buy. Last-minute deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts. Exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and so much more. And the game time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. And if you find tickets in the same section or row for less, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. 24-hour return guarantee. You return your tickets within 24 hours from the time of your purchase for a full credit to your Game Time account. No questions asked. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Segment 3, Locked On Red Wings podcast. All right, so reality. Let's talk about what's left. This game was huge, and you lost it. That is reality. You are now 1 point out of a playoff spot. Both teams you're chasing have the tiebreakers on you, and you have 4 games left in the season to make something happen. It's not that it can't happen, but now you don't control your own destiny. Now you are once again waiting for teams like the Capitals and the Penguins to lose games so that you can come back into control while you also struggle to win games on your own. So first things first, right? Being a point out of the wild card. Beating Pittsburgh is not losing to Pittsburgh is not an option. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You've got to win. Just win, as we would say. If you had beaten Washington, losing to Pittsburgh wouldn't have been the end of the world. But now if you lose to Pittsburgh, that is the end of the world. The last 3 games do not matter. You have got to beat Washington, or you have got to beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh to stay alive. After that, I mean, you got Toronto. They might not be fighting for anything. Their playoff spot might be locked. You might catch a break there, although Matthews is hunting down 70. So that's something he's going to be fighting for.
Yep.
The Capitals and the Penguins do have pretty tough remaining schedules. But, now we're looking at their schedules and hoping that they fall out. And that's just an opposition we wanted to be in. But that's the reality. The remaining schedule for Washington, 4 games left. Buffalo, Tampa, Boston. Final game against Philly, who lost big time against Montreal today. So 2 really tough matchups for the Washington Capitals down the stretch. The Pittsburgh Penguins, on the other hand, obviously they play the Detroit Red Wings. And then they follow that up by Boston, Nashville, and the Islanders. So they have 3 really tough games to end the season. So you still have a chance. I think that they showed on ESPN today that if you lose, the chances of you making the playoffs is 33%. The Capitals is 34%. But this just isn't a spot the Red Wings should have been in. It really isn't. And the reality is it sucks, man. I don't know. Like I said yesterday in segment 3, like I don't have much left to add on this season. You're in a category now or stage now where you just have to win and you haven't. And that's where we're at.
Yeah. I had said something last week when we were talking about, man, like they've been losing games, but they've been playing a lot better. And at the end of the day, that's not good enough, right? Like that, it just isn't. That's the fact of the matter. We can sit here and talk about how much better they looked than the Capitals and how they were clearly the better team on the ice. At the end of the day, one team won and one team didn't. And so those type of conversations, some people call them excuses, whatever, like those are irrelevant. Like you, it sounds way like overly deep and philosophical, but like, you know what I mean? Like you got to win. That's all there is to it, man. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. That's what you've been saying all week is just win. Like that's it, dog. You cannot continue to just be, we looked like the better team or we played them really close, etc. At some point, it has to be actual results and actual wins, or else you're going to be on the outside looking in. And now, as you said, they don't control their own destiny. there's a reality in which they win out and still don't make the postseason. So
Yep.
that sucks. We're going to be scoreboard watchers here for the next week.
Yep. I mean, had they won this game in regulation, you would have taken the tiebreak. Not only would you be 3 points up on the Capitals, you would have taken the tiebreaker from the Capitals, and you would have you had the opportunity. I think the Islanders ended up winning that hockey game, or are close to winning at this point. But you could have possibly had passed the Islanders for third in the Metro, which means that you wouldn't have had to worry about anything. But the Islanders ended up winning, so it means nothing. It's just, man, there's nothing really else left to be said. I mean, Patrick Kane scored his 20th goal of the season with 1.1 second left. The Red Wings finally got guys to the front of the net. Wouldn't you guess that they scored? I mean, I guess if you want the bullet point, the TLDR on this game, Wings were dominant. They outplayed the Capitals. Charlie Lindgren had played the best game of his life. The two areas the Red Wings did not show up in was on the power play. They couldn't get the puck in the back of the net. Of course, Perron hit a post, which didn't help. It's not his fault that he hit the post, but and then just not getting to the rebounds. But like for 56 minutes of this hockey game, the Red Wings were the best team on the ice by a long shot. And it's yet another game where Alex Lyon gets the start and the team doesn't get him the win. I mean, he's what in his last few games? Let's look at his game log here real quick. I knew coming into this game he was at .935 save percentage in his last few starts. Starting with what, the Buffalo? No, I'm going the wrong end of the schedule here. So the Nashville loss 1-0. He had a .969 save percentage. He had an .867 save percentage against the Washington Capitals. That was the 4-3 overtime loss. The goal that put him under 900 save percentage was the overtime goal. .947 save percentage against the Panthers. .944 against the Lightning. .895 against the Rangers. .974 against the Sabres. And then .913. I mean, this is a goalie he was bounced back and is giving it his all. And the scoring just has not come back.
Yep.
I keep saying it. What else needs to be left to be said? But I keep saying more. I always find a way.
You always do.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. This blows.
Game Thursday. Watch them split, like you said.
Oh. Yeah. I just sucks. That just sucked. That really did suck. Yeah, man. You gotta find ways to get the puck in the back of the net. That's really that's it. You know what I mean? And usually when we have that, it's piggybacked with, oh, well, they didn't get high danger, or they didn't get a lot of opportunities, or look, they should have done this, like X's and O's, like they should have done this to improve that. They did that. Just at the end of the day, you got to put the puck in the back of the net, and they couldn't. So that it sucks when you do everything else pretty darn well, but not what is going to win you hockey games.
I mean, I think that does it. Scotty, say it with me. What else is left to be said? You didn't say it with me.
Well, I didn't know what you were saying. You said, say it with me, and then said something we've never said together before.
Well, you're supposed to just know.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mind reading was off.
Exciting Tigers comeback win.
Yeah, that was the opposite. That was a team that got outplayed for 8 innings and somehow tripped its way to victory.
Oh, so you were the Washington Capitals.
Polar opposite of what the Wings did.
Man, and I'm sorry to the listeners too. I'm just sorry that they have to experience this as well, man. This just sucks.
Yeah, well, we all want the same thing, man. We all just want playoff hockey back, and yeah. Sucks.
We'll be back with a new episode tomorrow, though.
Sure will.
I get ready for another episode where we declare the next game the biggest game of the season, because it's the truth. Behind the 8 ball now. All right. Any final thoughts, Scotty?
We ball.
Just win, baby. Just win.
Just
Same
win.
time, same place. It's your team every day.
Every day.